Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to go over some of the best cards to buy and sell early on in NHL 23's Hockey Ultimate Team. We're going to cover some of the cards that I think that are going to spike up in price and some that are going to drop, cards that you should hold on to, and the ones that you should sell immediately. If you enjoyed the content, make sure you subscribe for the most up-to-date news, tips, and info in NHL 23, and make sure you check me out on Twitch. I go live every single day at noon Eastern Time, twitch.tv/NoSleeves12. All right, let's get into the cards. All right, first up, for everyone trying to build a decent squad, your no money spent, I will have my first episode of my No Money Spent series up shortly, but Taylor Hall's base card for the 10th year in a row is a nice buy in Hockey Ultimate Team. Now, this is very early on in the day. I'm recording this at 8 a.m. Eastern Time, but I did see Taylor Hall for under 5K. I think if he drops to that price point at any time, you want to go ahead and buy him. The reason being, he's 6'1", 90 speed, 89 acceleration, and his shot is in the mid-80s. There's not a lot of great winger left-handers that have decent size, skating, and shooting. He does give up some of the defensive abilities, but on your wingers, you can sacrifice that. Taylor Hall for under 5K, definite buy. His right-handed counterpart, Matthew Barzal, he's actually going for about 20,000 coins right now. 92 speed, 90 acceleration, mid-80s shooting. If you're not going to get his XFactor card, and I wouldn't go out and straight buy his card, but if you get it untradeable and it's in a choice pack, it's always the safe option. I've used this Matthew Barzal card for a little while now. Really enjoyed his card. He's always so fast. He's able to make those cuts and dekes, and in NHL 23, you're actually able to deke again to create time and space. So if you're looking for a fast right-handed winger, I'd go with Matthew Barzal. I want to give you guys a defensive option. The 83 Morgan Riley, if you have Gladiator on as well, makes this a very strong card. 88 speed, 88 acceleration, with 85 defensive awareness and 80 stick checking. Currently, he's going for just under 15,000 coins. I like that price point for Morgan Riley, and I've used him on the God Squad for a while now. Really good card. Next up, for the players that have a little bit more coins, we're going to talk about the base Cale Makar. This has been one of my favorite cards to use so far in game. You notice his agility and his ability to break the puck out, beeline straight down the boards, or make those really fast cuts, cutting through the neutral zone. He's got Gladiator on his base card as well, so it helps out with his lower body checking. But even still, his ability to bump people off the puck, I haven't really noticed it be an issue at all. I've really liked this card. I don't really want to recommend spending 75,000 coins roughly on a base card. Bang, dude. Coast to coast with Cale Makar. But it should hold his value for a little while because his X Factor is going to be so sought after for quite some time that it will kind of hold up his base card for just a little while. But for the next 2-3 weeks, you can probably get away with using Cale Makar at 75,000 coins, and he probably wouldn't drop to lower than, I'd say, 50 in about 3 weeks. So if you are looking for an elite defenseman to go after, Cale Makar is your guy. All right, and then lastly, let's talk about Dylan Larkin. Now, honestly, I don't think I would spend 30K on Dylan Larkin because you can go out and get some other options like Taylor Hall for a fraction of the price. But I don't know what it is about his base card, but he has been absolutely electric for me. He's been so good on my God Squad that I legit went out and bought his X Factor just because I wanted to get the bigger version of him. He has been so good, guys. 100% recommend. I need X Factor Larkin. Dude, this is probably my favorite base card other than Cale Makar. Oh my goodness. That guy just got put in a blender. His shooting was a little low, but that wasn't an issue at all. I've been able to pick the far low side shot a ton with him, and with elite edges, once you get into the corner, back and forth, all of that, it's just been a blast using this card. 100% would recommend. 30K, again, there are other better buys, but just in terms of personal feel for this card, I'm all right with you guys going out and spending that kind of coin. I actually got his X Factor for about 30,000 coins, and I think that might have been a steal. If you can get his card for that price, I would actually go out and grab his X Factor card, and there's not many lower overall X Factor cards I'd recommend. All right, guys, now let's talk about X Factors. I get a lot of questions like, what is the most amount of X Factors you want to have on your team? Should I keep, sell? all of that. Here is what I would say about X Factors, and I have to admit, the market is definitely caught up compared to last year when the prices were insane because no one knew how valuable or not valuable these cards were. If you haven't watched my X Factor tier list video, go and check that out. But any of the non-A or S tier X Factors, I would sell immediately. So just for a quick reference, best X Factors to have would be Connor McDavid, Cale Makar, Nathan McKinnon, Austin Matthews. And then there's some other lower options like Dylan Larkin, Matthew Barzal, and Steven Stamkos. And the reason why they're half decent is because their cost is very low and they're already so fast that you can get away with maybe not investing in them very quickly. But the problem with X Factors, guys, is that when you have kind of a mid-tier card, let's say Roman Josi, for example, this is a great defenseman card. There's no way around that. It's a very, very strong card. It's 90,000 coins at 87 overall. Roman Josi is going to get a lot of prime time and team of the week cards that will bump up his overall. And the issue is that speed only goes up by 0.5. When his 88 comes out, he might go up by 1 to get to 88 speed, but there will come a time where it's going to cost you about 100,000 coins and he's not going to get any faster. His zone ability of Send It is almost useless, and you're going to run into an issue where you kind of want to get the new hotness for a card where you could spend, 100,000 coins on a very, very strong new card, and the other option is to upgrade Roman Josi for 100k, and that's just really not worth it in my opinion. Another perfect example is Matthew Tkachuk. So at 86 overall, because he's one of the best players in the game, he's already kind of expensive. His next upgrade is going to cost quite a bit in terms of power-up collectibles or coins, and you're just paying so much to keep up with this card when his skating is just going to be outpaced very quickly by some of the other options that come up. So here's what I would do with X Factors. Any of the non-God tier X Factors, so Connor McDavid, Cale Makar, McKinnon, Matthews, for example, I am selling. Now, there is a price point at which you don't want to drop, so what I'd recommend is if you say you want to sell Alex Ovechkin, go and compare his price first and have a look at what his X Factor is going for. And I'm not going to lie, I would much rather sell Ovechkin for 200k for what he's going for right now than pay the cost to upgrade him. He's a very good card, don't get me wrong, but like I said, there's a lot of other options that you could go with that are a lot cheaper. I would sell all of them. The one I would pay attention to is Trevor Zegras, though, because of people maybe they're newer to the game or they're just chasing the overalls. When his Master Set player comes out this Friday for the Spotlight event, people are going to see the fact that his X Factor is going to be able to go up to 88, and that might spike his price. So just keep that in mind. If you have a Trevor Zegras, I would just hold off and wait for the weekend. You might be able to get him for like 100k. You might be able to sell him for that price. Now, when it comes to how many X Factors you should have, this is all going to depend on how good of a player you are. You need to be honest with yourself. And the reason why is because at 11 wins, you can get 5 Hut Champs collectibles. And it's a 1-to-1 trade-in for Hut Champs collectibles to power-up collectibles. So if you get 5 Hut Champs collectibles every week, you're going to get 5 power-up collectibles. What I did last year, I just got to 11 or 13 wins every week, and then I was able to upgrade all of the best X Factors. I think I had like 5 or 6 on my team before it just got kind of annoying and I avoided them after a certain point because of the cost. But you can upgrade all of your X Factors pretty regularly if you can get to that point. If you can't get to 11 wins, you want to cap your amount of X Factors at just the big one. Again, always use the players that you want to use. If you have a favorite player and you want his X Factor, go out and get it. I'm just giving you guys a guide and some insight on what the cost is going to be to actually upgrade these guys, because while it seems cheap right now, it will not stay that way. All right, guys, next I want to talk about the event that is upcoming on Friday, the Hut Spotlight event. And what I want to highlight here for anyone that's new to the game maybe is the Hut Spotlight collectibles you are going to need to upgrade these Master Set players. You are going to get one for free via objectives and 88 overall, but there's going to be a lot of people that pre-order the game that want to upgrade their Master Set, their base Master Set that came out, and you're going to notice that you are going to need a handful of these Hut Spotlight collectibles. This is what I want to draw your attention to in the market. If it works like NHL 22, and I don't see any reason why it won't, you are going to trade in cards, and based on their overall, you will receive X amount of collectibles. Now, early on in the game, an 85 overall card is extremely good when it comes to the value that EA deems. You are going to get quite a few collectibles for an 85 overall. If you go and take a look at 85 overalls right now, you will notice that there's actually some up for under 10,000 coins. That is a great buying opportunity in my opinion, because all of these goaltenders and some of the female cards, they're going for under 10,000 coins. When the event drops and you can trade these in for 3 or 4 collectibles for that event to upgrade those master set players, these should spike in price to about 15k. So any of them under 10,000, there's some up for 7 right now. Guys, ignore the actual card. Everyone is so focused on the fact they don't want to use these cards. Ignore that. The value is going to jump up a ton once that event comes out. So if you have about 100,000 coins, I would honestly go out and buy as many of these as you can, because these are the ones that should spike in price. And then lastly, I want to talk about team builder sets and cards that you should pay attention to. Now, I've made a bunch of the team builder cards. They are very expensive, so if you are no money spent, I would honestly be selling all of my base NHL cards. I want to point something out though. There is a issue with autofill when you are filling your cards for these sets. If you go to autofill, it will put 80 overalls and above in the 74 plus spot. So you want to make sure, what I would recommend is go in order of overalls. So let's say you have a bunch of 80 overall cards and above for a specific team. What I would do is go to search your collection, and you want to put in your lowest ones first. So you need 15 74 overall cards and above. So what you would do is just go lock in 15 of these and do those first, and then go and do the 80 overalls, and then do the 81s. What's happening is whenever you go and put an 81 overall card in first, it's tracking it as a lower overall one. So you're getting scammed. I would be blown away by the amount of people that have wasted a ton of coins by trading in their 81s for 74 and above cards. It's happened to me. I didn't realize it, so I wanted to make sure that you guys are aware of that. It's an issue right now. Hopefully it gets fixed. Now, I want to talk about selling and buying these cards. It looks like the Metro division is where most of the expensive cards are, just because Larry Murphy is one of the best cards in the game right now, and you're seeing a lot of people, it's reflecting that. So if you go and take a look at teams like the New York Islanders, for example, they are pretty expensive, where all of their cards are essentially over 1,500. There is a lot up right now. What I would recommend is any 81 NHL card that is under 1,100 coins. I would buy those up, because once the free-to-play players come out at launch of the game, they're not ripping packs. They're going to have to buy these cards. And I think that because there's so many players about to hit the market, you're going to see a big demand and not enough supply. So any of the 81 overall NHLers, I would grab at 1,100. Before you are going out and buying a ton though, have an eye and just search each of the teams that you are looking at, because the teams do fluctuate. So just keep an eye out for that. But any of the 81 NHLers under 1,100, that's basically the minimum you can sell them for, and there's people doing that. All right, guys, that is going to do it for today's video. Let me know what you think in the comments section down below, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one.